as I leave the house, like it's been cloudy all day. I just pulled out of the garage. It took me a while to get the Dragy set up, the GoPro set up, and as soon as I left the garage, it started raining. Drizzling first, and now it's pretty much starting to rain. So this is not gonna go as planned. This was supposed to be a final drive before swapping out the engine transmission and or before adding the parts to the engine and swapping out the transmission. And then while I was out, I was supposed to do a few Dragy pulls just to see if the car is still in the same ballpark as it was when I did Dragy pulls last summer. So looks like the rain clouds are south, so I'm gonna head up north a little bit, and hopefully I can find some clear skies, no rain, and then I'll be able to do a few Dragy pulls and I guess just enjoy the car a little bit, just drive it a little bit, with the top down, of course. That's the way I prefer. Doesn't seem like it vibrates that much, but looking at the phone, I guess it can get pretty intense. So I guess what I want to do is get a few driving impressions with the car as is, which is pretty much stock. The only thing that's done to it is the K20 oil pump and headers. So I already did some dyno runs and stuff before, like I think last summer, maybe even fall-ish, and I want to see if I can kind of back those numbers up. So what I want to do is just avoid the rain, which it looks like that's going to be kind of hard to do. Avoid the rain, do some Dragy pulls. Hopefully I'm still in the same ballpark, which would be, what was it? I guess 13.5, 13.7. I think it's 13.7 at about 99 miles an hour. So do I think I can beat those times today? I don't know, we'll try. But that's only if I can find open, dry roads. Over the weekend maybe, or by the weekend, I would like to have modded the engine, and that would consist of the 50-degree VTC, the Skunk 2 intake manifold and throttle body, the Dry Cartel dropping cams, and the RDX injectors. Those, I guess, before dyno, which is kind of like a base map off the, like somebody else's base map. It should make a difference. It should be a noticeable difference. And then after a tune, it should be a pretty good difference. That difference would be roughly 25-30 horsepower. If the Dry Cartel cams with VTC can make about 10, if the intake manifold and throttle body, if the intake manifold and throttle body can make roughly 10, that's kind of a minimum of about 20 horsepower. So if I see more than 20, I'll be happy. When you think about the little gains that you expect to see from adding a few, mods, normally aspirated, it kind of puts things into perspective when you think about just slapping a turbo on, turning up a little boost, and seeing like a humongous difference, like basically double the power for a fraction of the cost. So it's really interesting to be doing both at the same time, and whenever I think about the gains, the cost that goes into this car, and then the small incremental gains, it's like, wow. It's hard to believe that people are really, really into NA like that, but you know, I understand it. I definitely like the feel. Very, very sharp, responsive feel. So it looks like we are getting away from the rain. The air is getting a little cooler. My watch still says 84, but it feels more like 75-ish. I'm gonna have to go out in order to get wide open roads to be able to come to a complete stop and then get a good launch, but we'll see. I'll just kind of look for level ground and play it by ear. So when I bought this car, I could go in first, second, third, fourth gear. It absolutely would not go into fourth. And then when I put it in fifth, I had to hold it in fifth. So huge difference being able to go through all gears with absolutely no issues. And then of course the power increase. And speaking of the power increase, the stock motor, the stock 1ZZ, it's almost as if it didn't really want to rev past 6,000 RPMs. So I never really got a great experience out of the stock motor. Basically, 0 to 60 was about 11 seconds, which is absolutely not great at all. And for me to get in this and do 0 to 60 in 4.99 seconds after the swap was a huge difference. So you got a wide open road. Missed third, that happens. I could feel it going as if it was going into third, and then it just got this like squishy feel, so I wasn't sure. And I guess just letting off the clutch for a second, letting the car settle, was enough for, I guess, the drivetrain to kind of settle and allow the gear to engage. But yeah, it's definitely not very easy to get a good solid run. Hopefully the 6-speed will be better about that. And I'm noticing that I'm not getting any readings on the Dragy either, so I need to take a look at that. All right, come on. It's reading, but it's not putting it on the screen. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it does that. Kind of annoying that it's not doing it right now, but yeah, we'll see. When I bought the car, the original suspension was pretty much shot. The springs were sagging big time, but the car is so light that, you know, it felt almost as if the car was slightly lowered, and the springs still felt fairly stiff. So the car handled good, especially for what little power it had. And if I had to guesstimate, that's probably maybe 90 to 100 horsepower. That's not saying a lot. Stock power was 130 and it felt like 90 to 100. So like I said, 0 to 60 being 11-ish seconds, over 11 actually. So that just kind of goes to show. But to cut that in less than half with the K24, huge difference, night and day. So that's a little bit about the suspension. When I bought the car, it had drilled slotted brakes, rotors anyway, all the way around. Those are surprisingly good, and I'm pretty sure that's just due to the super light weight of the car. You hit the brakes, the car stops. The car, you can feel it engage, grab, immediately start to slow the car. I thought once adding the K24, the slightly extra, weight, I guess 80 to 100 pounds, and then the extra horsepower and torque, I thought the brakes would feel weak, but they don't. These brakes absolutely do keep up with stock-ish K24. I'm anxious to find out how they keep up with, roughly 250 horses to the wheels. And if they do, then it just goes to show that a lightweight car, and I guess some pretty basic, good engineering, from the factory, it makes us feel like it's more of a sports car coming straight from the factory. Not necessarily the engine, but everything else. So nobody behind me is turning off, so I can't stop and do another lunge. And although this road is curved, it looks very level, so it would be a good place to just stop and do a lunge, but too many cars are coming from behind.
A few moments later.
Coast is clear, and I wasn't recording. That didn't feel very fast. My 1-2 shift sucks. I think I have to go a little bit higher. Yeah, too much sauce, too much. Finally coming up on the screen, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, so it's still not great. Quarter mile in 14, so I'm actually slower. $14.1, $14.4. Actually, this is a good place to turn around here. Mexico, and cars are coming up behind me kind of fast, so .3, 0 to 60 in 5.9. So I'm not getting good launches. I usually launch a lot better than this. A little more wheel spin, and the cars behind me are coming fast. Either too much wheel spin or too much bog. That might be it for my runs. I'm coming back to civilization. Nah. I definitely needed a little more wheel spin than that. I think 4-ish thousand is it might be the sweet spot for a launch with these tires, this wheel and tire setup. That's another Mexico road there. Well, hopefully once it's all said and done, there's a lot better shifter feel with the 6-speed and the detents and the new shifter, I guess, bracket. The way the cable loops around and use more of a regular stock-like attachment. Hopefully, we'll see. Kind of anxious to get this done so that I can test it, but at the same time I'm a little wary of testing it before getting tuned, so I really need to find a place that I can get a good dyno tune and hopefully be above 240, well above 240, maybe even somewhere around 250. I'll be happy with that for now. And the next thing would be ported heads, maybe even the 4-piston TSX heads, and then 12.5 to 1 pistons, and that would be it for this car, for this motor. That would be it. I wouldn't do anything else. And that would hopefully be in the ballpark of like 270, 280. It's a lot of money for another roughly 20, 30 horsepower though. I have to say that. I'll put it like this. That's gonna be a wait and see type of thing. So not too bad, nice little drive. I escaped the rain. I was able to get some launches. I was able to get some 0 to 60 times, some quarter-mile times. I wasn't completely satisfied with the times that I got, but at the same time, it is a lot warmer than it was when I did it in Jacksonville. And I don't know. I guess I had a lot more time to practice. The roads were empty. I had more time. I figured out my launch, and I just haven't launched this car in so long just because of the sheer amount of traffic, I guess, closer to where I live. And then just being so hot, it's almost pointless to go out and trying to best old 0 to 60 times that I got pretty much in the winter time. So 4.99 is the time to beat, and if I can beat that pretty easy with the mods, I'll be happy, super happy. So that's gonna be it for this drive. That was a long drive. That would make for a pretty long video. I guess once I get this all uploaded to the computer, I'll see how good it looks and if I'm gonna use it or not. And I'll probably just throw it up just to throw it up. After all, I did decide to do it. Made a conscious effort, so why not, right?